conjunction and cooperation with one another last week in engaging in an undercover operation that was designed to target, identify, and arrest individuals who were using the internet to sexually exploit children. Now, this is the second such operation that we have done in St. Johns County. Our first operation met between 15 and 17, I believe, and we got convictions on all of those cases. And this is another example. The success of this operation is another example of the cooperation between all the law enforcement agencies, not only the locals, but the state and federal agencies. This agency involved undercover detectives posing as juveniles or as parents who were willing to expose their child to sexual activities to unknown suspects who would then meet them in an undercover home that we had established here in St. Johns County. And as soon as they arrived, they were all arrested. And because of this 5-day undercover operation, we were able to arrest 15 predators. Now, I say predators not from a legal sense, but from the sense of a father and a grandfather. Any adult who is willing to have sex with a child, in my eyes, is a predator. And I'm sure the community would agree with me on that. This operation took place between Wednesday and the Sunday of last week. Our undercover chatters are members of the Northeast Florida Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force, and they were represented by the agencies that I mentioned. They did an outstanding job. They posed as 13 and 14-year-old juveniles. All of the suspects came from different areas within Florida and Georgia. The details of the operation are on the screens, and we have poster boards of all the suspects in the room that we arrested. We had 3 that came from Volusia County, 2 from South Georgia, 2 came from St. John's, Duval, Alachua counties, and 1 each from Clay, Nassau, Flagler, and Flagler counties. The suspects ranged in age between 19 and 49 years of age. And because of this arrest, we have investigations that are continuing that involve child pornography. And we also have an undisclosed sexual abuse case that we are now investigating, where a family member of one of the suspects arrested came forward after the arrest and has made claims of sexual abuse from that individual. One of the suspects arrested has an extensive violent sexual history. That history dates back a few years, so it was prior to the sexual predator requirements of today, and it was from another state. So with that, I would like to see if any of the other agency members here would like to make any comments or statements.
And first, let me thank Joel for inviting us to participate, and really, any time that that we can take an opportunity to enlighten parents and educate them and kids on the dangers of the internet, it's a good thing, and we need to do that. So, internet usage grows every day. It's becoming more and more a part of our daily lives. So, again, as we move forward, participating in these operations, there'll be more and more of this and maybe around with these funds. So, again, Joel, thanks for inviting us.
Thank you. Appreciate your participation.
Absolutely.
The same sentiments. I want to thank Sheriff Shore and the St. John Sheriff's Office, because they were the leaders of this operation. And again, anytime we can remove, like the undersheriff said, a predator from our community, it protects the innocence and potential of another victim. And that's what's huge. Whether there's 15, 17, or 2 people on those boards, all of them could violate any victim in our community at any time. And again, I just want to thank the cooperation and the men and women that did this operation. It's a lot of hours, it's a lot of time, it's tedious. It goes off to them, the accolades for them to do that. The SWAT teams that had to take these people down, again, just outstanding effort on their parts.
A couple of things. I said this a couple of years ago when we were in this very room a couple of years ago, but the internet is the #1 destination for pedophiles because they believe the technology gives them anonymity. But anonymity of the internet enables someone to pretend to be anyone they want. In the case of pedophiles, it enables the introduction, the development of a relationship, time to build trust, and too often it ends with exploitation of children. Last week and over the weekend, 15 individuals were no longer anonymous. Last week, St. Augustine was the destination for these 15 individuals. As of today, these individuals are no longer anonymous. I hope the public appreciates the commitment and dedication of the officers and agents responsible for the success of this operation. And let us all hope this serves as a deterrent to other would-be pedophiles and serves as a harsh reminder that online is not anonymous.
Thank you, Tony. We know law enforcement profession do many things that is very, very important to our community to ensure the safety of our communities. But I can't think of anything that is more important than to protect our kids. So I praise also all of the men and women who work hard tirelessly 24/7 during this 5-day operation, because it was 24/7. You have to understand how some of these things work. Some of these individuals showed up a minute and a half between one another. So they had to act fast in order to clear the scene of a current arrest while the other predator was waiting in the driveway to come in to meet with a 13 or 14-year-old boy or girl to have sex with. So I praise you for your hard work and your dedication. These are not easy cases to make, and I also thank you. So with that, I'm going to open the floor to any questions.
Sheriff, I just want to know your reaction to this. Can you just describe your feelings towards this?
You know, it's both sad and happy. I'm happy and I'm proud of the men and women here of taking these predators off the street, but it's so sad to see that this exists. You know, it's like I said, we did this probably less than 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and got 17 folks, and here we are just trying it again for 5 days, and we've got 15. There's no telling how many kids are being victims out there, not only in our county, but every county in the United States. Because there's no borders here. As you see, we had folks coming down from Georgia, coming down from 5 or 6 counties over. I mean, it's just heartbreaking to even think that something like that could happen.
So many of you yourselves are probably parents or have children in your families. Every time this happened, you know, here locally, to have all these people coming from out of county here, that's got to also be emotional for you as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And some may question, you know, why are we luring these predators in our county? Well, you know, I'd rather have them come meet us than meet with a child somewhere else and become a real victim, because it's happening. It's happening, and I'd rather it be us.
What kind of websites were you using to
That is part of our investigative process, and, you know, I'm not going to disclose any details of our investigative techniques. They seem to be very effective, so, you know, I can't disclose what kind of websites. All I can tell you, they were in chat rooms. There was sexually explicit conversation going back and forth, and the suspects eventually arriving at our house for one purpose, and one purpose only.
Did the neighbors know what was going on?
Typically, in an undercover operation, people around us do not know what's going on. Now, if there are neighbors that are curious and they ask questions, we certainly send a supervisor over there and talk to them. And a lot of times we get a lot of support from the surrounding neighbors in this operation. I'm glad to see it.
Do you plan to do more
Yes.
this year?
I can't say if it's going to be this year or next year, but this is certainly one of those things that, as you can see, has to be continuous.
Can you describe the process? I know you kind of mentioned that, you know, sometimes it was quick when people would show up, maybe a minute or two in between. I mean, how complicated was that?
It was called what we call in our profession scramble. We scrambled pretty well. You know, our teams are highly trained. They're broken down into sections. You've got a chat team, you've got an arrest team, you've got a surveillance team. Everyone knows their roles, everyone knows their jobs. They got policies and procedures and rules that they follow, and they are very effective and efficient.
Did you set it up so that they would show up within a minute of each other, or I mean?
We anticipate that. We anticipate it. We have plans to deal with that. So, yes, I would say yes.
Were the undercover folks online, I mean, as both
Yes.
young boys and girls?
Yes, and as parents who were willing to offer their children for sex. And We know that unfortunately that happens also all the time.
All the suspects are in jail.
As far as I know, one may have wanted out.
You know which one?
I don't, but that needs to be checked. I think it's interesting to note that the suspects that were arrested in these cases, they come from all different backgrounds. One is that we even had bus drivers for the St. Johns County School System that was arrested. Needless to say, he's no longer a bus driver.
Each suspect has to get extensive sexual abuse history from the state.
Anthony J. Rossby from Pearson, Georgia. These are the ones that came out of Georgia. That was violent sexual criminal. Any other questions?
Were you encouraged that you got so the prosecution rate from the sheepdog operation?
Oh,
That
absolutely.
encouraged you to...
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, if we did struggle, if we did struggle with sheepdog, we would still exist because the means work.
You wait for them to ring the doorbell or what's the process?
Well, let's put it this way. Before we make an arrest, there is clear evidence that their intent was to meet with that child and have sex. And that's all I can say about that. There's no question.
I mean, were they arrested on the spot the second when they get there, or is it?
They were arrested as soon as they reached a certain point where our detectives felt comfortable and the prosecutors felt comfortable, and that's when they were arrested. Needless to say, they did not meet a 13 or 14-year-old. I assure you.
Just remember, a lot of these folks, for the media, they brought items with them that would be indicative of these types of sexual performance acts that we're talking about. So obviously, there's good, strong cases, and I believe every case, as the undersheriff mentioned, every case that we had previous on an operation like this all ended up in convictions.
So, I mean, so you tell them to bring a teddy bear or something like that, something that would know this is the guy or something.
There is a confirmation process with regards to the chat. I'm not going to get into exactly what they bring, what those chats detail.
All of the charges that these individuals, the majority of them are courtesy from the use of a computer service to seduce, solicit a child, obscene communication, traveling to meet after use of a computer to lure a child, and utilizing a two-way device to facilitate a felony. Traveling, the count two is as they say. Any other questions?
All right, thank y'all for coming. Did y'all get packets